Hello, good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm doing fine. So you are Dorothy with Ned or Nix.
Yeah.
So I heard that the elections are done in Nigeria. So what are your thoughts towards the elections? Because before they started, I heard many people talking, oh, the election is going to be a challenge. Every country was getting in there talking about Nigeria elections. So what happened?
First of all, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you might be listening from our NELO podcast. Thank you, Kashero. I've heard your question. In fact, Nigeria election is I don't know. In fact, it's something that one doesn't know where to start. You can see what is really going on in the media and how the media are portraying what the media is portraying about the election. Right now, it's quite unfair that Nigeria, a nation that is practicing democracy, can stoop so low, to kind of take this election as a tribal issue.
Oh, but you just spoke about democracy, which is good. So were the elections fair or not?
Oh no! In fact, the election were not fair. In recent times, Nigeria has been grappling with a multitude of challenges, including political instability, economic struggles, and ethno-religious conflicts. And one of the most pressing issues right now is the unfair election that have been taking place since February 25th. Which have resulted in widespread injustices, killings, destruction of properties, particularly in the Igbo community, those in Lagos precisely. You know very well that the Igbos are those who inhabit in southeastern region of Nigeria, and they have been victims of political marginalization and have been targeted, violence for decades.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Speaking about the killings though, my thought goes to women since I work a lot with women. So how are the women coping with these issues of killings in elections that are not fair? So have you spoke to the people on the ground and hear how women and children are coping with this?
In fact, Kashara, really these current electoral processes in Nigeria has really exacerbated so many issues, leading to violence, that has to do with women, and also to worsen it is the currency, I don't know what they call it, exchange or whatever, which has really
the exchange rate,
not even the exchange rate, they changed the currency, from what it used to be.
I read about that.
Yeah,
that they are changing the currency. So
Good.
It happened.
And can you believe that these women have been, most of the women have been dying, their children dying of hunger because they always a long queue in the in the banks, various banks. Even when you have your money, you can't even withdraw your money. At the end of the day, you are getting like $5,000, and even the exchange, you are going to the POS or what they call it. You want to withdraw something like or you want a transfer of 10,000. They are kind of deducting like 2,000 or more than that to in exchange of your own money.
Oh wow, that is terrible. So this exchange, like we're talking here about changing your currency, this is a big deal. So were people prepared that they will change the currency, so they have to save what they have, or did the government prepare the people or give them something for the money they had to change?
Good question. You can imagine this currency. I think it's not even up to 3 months. They weren't giving up to that time. And, in other developed countries, you find out that this money keeps on circulating in the society until finally everything is being absorbed from to the bank. You find out that these women are not even prepared for all these things. They are not prepared at all. And to worsen it, these women were told, you can imagine women selling in local markets.
Yeah.
In the villages, they had no POS, they had no bank accounts, they couldn't even exchange. It's not as if it's in those days that you can do trade by barter. Nothing like that.
I know. I work with women in the rural area in the DRC, and I can imagine how that is. Women in the villages, they don't have banks or anything. No. All they live on is whatever they produce, agriculture. That's what they depend on. And I'm sure the government didn't do anything.
My sister, Kashara, it's a horrific situation. I'm telling you, horrific situation. I don't really know, who must have, I don't know. Do these people have conscience at all? Do they even put their citizens into consideration?
That is the problem of Africa. They only look at themselves, the elites and the elites. They work for the elites and their families and their pockets. This is why we need to ask for more women in the government. In Nigeria, do we have women? Are women represented in the government?
In fact, this is something I can't wrap my head around, because you are always hearing men is always at the top, and coupled with the fact that it's a patriarchal society.
Yep.
So you can, imagine what goes on in their political, both the flawed electoral processes. To my greatest surprise, the Igbo communities has faced numerous injustices. This includes targeted violence during and after elections, as well as the exclusion of qualified Igbo candidates from key political positions. Additionally, the Igbo population has been subjected to discriminatory policies and practices, which has limited their access to resources, opportunities, and basic services. You can imagine what is really going on right now in Lagos. All the major markets, Alaba International Trade Fair, Oladipo, the ones at Jegu, I can't remember the name. Most of these markets have been raised down,
of course,
because of this politics.
I can only imagine what is going in Nigeria, what is going on in Nigeria at this moment, where the economy is really, really tough. The economy during this time is hard. It's not only in Africa but everywhere. People are talking about the money is not there. Since the war in Europe, everything has changed. So if it's hard here, I can imagine how harder it will be in Nigeria, where there is insecurity and all those injustices.
You can imagine.
So we need to call upon women to come and join the government, and the international community should join to also help.
My sister, that is another issue altogether. The international community is sad that they are not even doing anything about this. The Igbos in particular are left, they are just on their own. You can imagine even the markets that have been raised down, that are predominantly, Igbo markets. Do you know that the government of the day have not come up to call to order those who have, the culprits of these issues? Everybody of the government of the day has kept silence, looking at these people, hopeless.
What is the reason for that? I don't understand some African leaders, not to say only Africans, but most leaders, some of them. Why can't they really care about the population, the general population?
Why would they care? If they are, since their families are, are well, they are, they are, in fact, it's like they go into this political, they vie for these political positions just for their families and not for the interest of the poor masses.
That is so wrong. This is why we need to really decolonize our minds. We will not go far if we cannot decolonize our minds and start to see what is at the center of this suffering. What is bringing it?
In fact, Kashero, I won't tell you lies. My concern is the attack on the Igbo community, especially in Lagos. The attack in Igbo community has also experienced significant destructions of their properties during this election. Their homes, their businesses, their infrastructure have been vandalized and destroyed, resulting to displacement of many families.
Why?
And loss of livelihood.
Why?
And just because, according to them, this political position, I don't know what they even call it, Asiwaju or whatever, and the Obi, they presume that Asiwaju is of Yoruba, and it becomes a tribal issue anyway, and Obi is Igbo, and now they don't even want the Igbos to even vote for their, to have their own election, how do I call it? To have their own independent in voting. Their election, is it their franchise or whatever, has been destroyed or manipulated. I don't even know how to describe it. In fact, it's sad. It's very, very sad that the media or the United Nations or what you call it has just kept mute to watch people die because of election in Nigeria. And even before this time, there has been incessant killing in the southeast of Nigeria. No, the world has kept quiet. Nobody is saying anything about it. The main media is not even saying anything concerning that. Women go to the farm, they are killed. Men go to the farm, they are killed. Most homes are being destroyed, burnt, razed down, and these people are displaced from their own ancestral home, which is disheartening. And the government of the day seem not to do anything about it. Another irony of it is we hear that this government of the day recruits Boko Haram members who have been, according to them, they say it's repentant Boko Haram. They've now put them into the army to come and do what is something I don't understand.
I remember Boko Haram kidnapped a lot of girls back in 2018 or so.
Chibok girls.
So now they are bringing him in the government or giving him position?
Not even him. I mean, this is a set of group called Boko Haram. So one of the deadly terrorist groups. And you can also... There are more than 9 terrorist groups in Nigeria. Can you believe that?
I am so sorry, Dorothy. Let me ask you this question, because it seems like whatever goes on in the DRC, that is what also goes in Nigeria.
Of course.
You were speaking about women being killed when they leave the house to go find something for their families. I know this is kind of a not good question, but I have to ask it. Do we have United Nations in Nigeria currently?
Of course. What do you think?
What is the United Nations saying about all these killings? I know in the DRC there is a reason, because United Nations has been there for years, 20 years, more than even 20 years. More than 20 years, United Nations has been there. People are being killed on their site. They are looking. In fact, they are prove like that the United Nations are the one who stand for those who are killing, to bodyguard them as they are killing. United Nations is looking. And I understand it's due to minerals. So what type of, maybe in Nigeria you have a mineral, you also have minerals they are after, and this is the reason why people have been dying just for the sake of other part of the people, other part of the world to benefit from these minerals. Is it the same case in Nigeria?
Oh my God, that's a very good question. Tell me about it. Do you know that the southeastern part of the country has the minerals, resources? Do you know that the pipe alone, the raw material, this oil from the southeastern part of the country, pipe has been laid from southeastern part of the country to Niger or Chad or whatever they call it.
Oh.
And meanwhile, the citizens of Nigeria buy oil or gas or fuel, as they may call it, in exorbitant rates. They don't even have good roads. This particular region of the country that these minerals are coming from don't have good roads, don't have electricity, don't have pipe-borne water. You have nothing, not even employment. They are marginalized. Not even this section of the country is in the political position. I mean, in the helm of affairs. You find out that the military, I don't know what the positions they give them, the head of the military, the head of the custom, the head of the navy, the head of every section of the country, ministry of the country is being headed by the northerners, or what they may call it. And none is from the southern part of the country.
Dorothy, I am so sorry. Now it seems like you are talking about the eastern part of DRC.
Oh my
You
God.
know the eastern part of DRC has been taken by Rwanda, Uganda, and everybody, and even US, Canada, and Europe. The West is supporting those two countries to destabilize the eastern part of the DRC because of these rich minerals they have in there. What can we do to really finish all this? Why can't there be justice? Why can the West collaborate with the South and talk on have good relations? Take minerals, but leave people alone. Let people live in poverty. If they want minerals, people can live in poverty without being killed. Do they have to be killed for some people to benefit from the minerals?
I think they want to eradicate the citizens from their ancestral homes. I think that could be the reason. Otherwise, what does it take them, like you are saying, from just allowing these people to live in peace? It's like changing our leaders. I don't know what our leaders are doing. Just imagine even the leaders themselves subjecting their own citizens to abject poverty. It's not as if the poverty is already there. The graduates don't have jobs. Not quite long. The universities the universities went back to school after 6 to 8 months strike, just because the government do not want to pay, or don't want to reach the agreement they have had for years with the ASU. And that has related to the strikes. I remember even when I went to school, that was 1990. When I went to school for my first degree. The degree that was supposed to take me for 4 years, Kashero, I finished my first degree in 6 years. Because of the same thing. And this same cabals, or whatever you may call it, are still in this. Those are the same people in the same. They keep going and coming. Some of them keep going and bringing their children. Some of them keep going and bringing their relatives. The same set of people keep ruling and not even leading the country.
And the young people are looking, and they graduate, and there is no school. They graduate, there is no jobs. What is this?
It's horrible. It's really, really horrible. In fact, I just don't know. I tend to be emotional when I keep talking about this. It is something that I don't know how we can do it. And that is the more reason the indigenous people of Biafra are seeking for restoration and liberation from Nigeria. Because they are not gaining anything from Nigeria. Initially, they wanted Nigeria to be one, and they wanted Nigeria to be restructured. But it has taken them how many decades for the refusal of the restructuring of Nigeria. Now they want their own nation and they want a referendum, and they are not being granted. You don't want this set of people, and you still want to kill them. What do you want this set of people to do?
The mineral you have, sister, I understand exactly now what is going on. But even if they need this mineral, I work with women in villages, because those in the villages suffer a lot. They are the ones who provide food to those living in the cities. But now I'm looking at the situation in Eastern DRC, what is going on, and I'm trying to look at what you are saying. Okay. So if women are the ones who go to the farms and produce food, and this food will be feeding people in the cities, but when they are going there, they are being raped, they are being killed. Don't they understand that there is something wrong in their brains? How can this be? All women want, especially those in villages, the only peace they need, because the city, the government does not care for them. No one helps them. They try to do their own work and survive from what they are trying to do in their villages. So can these people get peace? If those who are at the top, the elites, they want to fight because they are too greedy, they want money, they will never be satisfied. At least bring peace. All people want is just peace, so they can work and feed their children, feed their families.
In fact, you're right. You're right. Because the ongoing injustices and the violence against the Igbo community, even in the north, it's not even better in the north. Many, come and see, there is so many displaced people, so many, they call it IT camp or whatever, in the northern part of Nigeria. And to worsen it, the Igbo community also. And I said there's no functioning democracy, and which requires the participation and representation of all citizens, regardless of ethnicity or political affiliation. Mm-hmm. And as such, it is crucial that the Nigerian government addresses these issues and ensures that future elections are conducted fairly, transparently, and peacefully, if at all there will be anything like Nigeria with what is really going on right now. Because the youth have stood up and said enough is enough. They don't have job. They are working aimlessly on the streets. They can't even eat. After graduation, there is no job. There is marginalization. There is exclusion. There is hopelessness. For the youth. So, in fact, my sister, I said, the unfair election, the injustices, the violence against the citizens of this country must be addressed urgently, if not by the leaders, by the United Nations. I hope they will listen, and I hope this message will get to them.
Well, I have experience in DRC. I cannot tell you to hope on that. I wish the United Nations can decide on their own and bring changes. If they can, yes. If the reason is for the minerals, these United Nations, we don't know. We hope they can do anything. They can help. So all we can ask for the United Nations to do is to make sure the women and children are safe. Those who are marginalized are being in a safe place. But having people displaced in their own country, becoming refugees in your own country. I have been before a refugee in my own country. It is very, very difficult. In fact, when you are a girl, can you imagine you being a girl? During the insecurity, you are in a camp, you get your periods. Are you going to go to school? You don't have anything to help you. Oh, there is no clean water. There is no medical. There is nothing at all. Can you imagine how these people will live? And we talk every single day about human rights, human rights, human rights. If we can do our best and educate women, because when you educate one woman, you educate the entire nation.
Absolutely.
And if women can have the chance to come to the round table where decisions are being made, the change can come about in these countries. So let's just hope that the United Nations can do something, and the international community also. and just the international community should know that yes, we need minerals, yes, we need technologies going higher, but we can do this fairly.
I'm telling you.
Like, we have this term that says ganya ganya, like you win and I win. You don't do something you can benefit just by yourself and let the other person down. What is the justice? What is justice mean to us? Justice. And we talk about democracy, we talk about justice, we talk about human rights. Well, I thank you so much for answering my questions, Sister Dorothy. But let us hope and pray that people can listen and know that we need peace in the entire world, not only in Nigeria, not only in the DRC. We have other women in Europe who are suffering now. At least for them, they are getting help. But those who don't get help, they should have hope in the Lord and wait for the day the government will have conscience and help them out. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sister. It's been an interesting conversation. I think the whole thing boils down to our leaders and not even the United Nations, because we have been subjected to, inhuman, will I say, is that treatment or what? That is an outrageous issue that is indescribable, where people are displaced in their own country, like you said. I remember what happened in Izombe last year. People's houses were burnt down, people were killed, men and women were running for their dear life, even up till today, even in Imo State. It's disheartening that in this area called Imo State, in Olo precisely, people have run away. Young men, young women have run, leaving their homes, because they are being killed on a daily basis. They go to door to kill human beings.
Wow.
It's just sad. It's too sad. And like we said, we pray that the leaders of the day will listen and try as much as they can to help the citizens of the country. I mean, yes. That is why we need good leaders to lead us and not to rule us. Exactly. I hope this message will get to them, and appropriate this solution will be made so that people will live in their homes, live in their ancestral lands in peace, without fear for their lives. Thank you, Kashero, for your time.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I hope young leaders or young boys or men or female will become activists to help those who are marginalized. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you so much. Thank you.